Hi, I'm Derek Coates with Dormicaba. Today we're going to look at the E7900 lock and how to build part numbers for the panic trims for this. So I've got my price guide pulled up here. You see at the top there it's got all the different options and where they would go. It might be easier if you print this out, that way you could just fill in the options as you select them. We have a base price listed here at the top. That's the base list price. Now keep in mind the pricing you have might be different than this, depending on when the video was shot versus when you're looking, things like that. So these are just examples here. So our base price here, we show $11.16. The way our pricing works is we have adders for each option you choose. So as you choose something through here, it may add to that list price. So our lock's going to start E79. It's the E7900 series lock. It's going to start E79. Our next number is going to be a 2. These are Gen 2 Zigbee locks, so your next number is just automatically going to be a 2. Then we get down here to our reader versions. So we have different readers that you could have on the lock depending on what cards you're using there. This may also play into what hardwired doors you have on the property, because you want the same credential to work on all the doors. So and try to select the lock that has the same type readers what you're using on the rest of the property so that your credential works on all of them. So the options we have here, option 1 would be the MyFair. That's typically used by Keyscan. Option 2 is your standard 125 kilohertz procs. So if you got procs cards at the site, choose option 2. Option 3 or 6 are different versions of the HID I-Class, whether they're using Classic or SE or they're using the CIOS. Choose which reader you need there. And then option 7 is our new one. That's our Farpoint Connect. That uses the Farpoint Smart 13.56 megahertz credentials or the Farpoint Connect BLE. That way you could actually use your mobile phones to unlock the door. So choose the correct reader you need for your property. Also, there's a note here about the command cards. Choose the correct command cards for programming the lock. I've got a separate video on those if you want to watch it. But choose the correct command cards to work with the reader type you have. There's different cards for the procs, for the I-Class, whichever reader, just make sure you choose the correct programming cards for it. So we're going to go down here to our next section. After you choose the reader, your next one's communication. Right now the only option there is 0, so put a 0 in your part number. Then it's what function do you need? So these are all panic trims or exit trim, however you want to call them. But what type of panic trim is it? First option here is a rim panic. Now this one includes the panic bar. This is the only option that actually includes the panic bar with the lock. The bar that we include with it is our Dorma 9300 panic bar. So if you choose option E1, you get the exit trim and you get the panic bar. But you would add the appropriate adder there because you choose E1 here and then the next section you choose the 7 for the Dorma 9300 bar and add that $960. None of the other options come with the panic bar. So E2 would be for a mortise panic, E3 for a rim panic, E4 is your surface vertical rod, E5 are your concealed vertical rod. So first question is basically what type of panic device are you putting on the door? Then go to that section and choose what panic bar you're using there. These are panic bar specific. There's certain panic bars that we've certified this lock to work with. Now keep in mind, the manufacturer of that panic bar could make changes to their bar down the road that would make it where it doesn't work with our lock. Doesn't typically happen, but it can. So just make sure it still works with our lock before you go using it. But I haven't really seen any manufacturers make a big change like that, but it is possible. So if we choose option E2, we've got our different Von Duprins, the 9875, 9975, got your arrows, you've got your Dorma 9500. So if yours is one of those models, select the appropriate 0, A, or 7 for that. If we go to our next page here, we've got our E3. So E3 is your standard rim panic. What bar is it going with? Option 0 is your Von Duprin, something like a Von Duprin 98 or 99. Your 1 is your Arrow 2, your Yale. You can see the options here, but choose the correct number for what bar you're using there. It even goes down 7, 8, 9, H, C, D, R. So there's a lot of different options there that you can choose from. So just choose the appropriate one for whatever bar you have there on the site. E4, remember, is our surface vertical rods. So choose which one out of the list there that you have. You know, Precision 22, Dorma 9400, something like that. Whatever your bar is, make sure you're choosing the right one. The reason it's so important to choose the right one is every manufacturer has a different spindle type. They have a different mounting pattern. These locks, if you watch my video on unboxing the exit trim, you'll see that there's different spindles for different manufacturers. There's a different mounting plate. That plate's used to connect our lock to the door as well as that bar to the door. So we want to make sure you're getting the right parts you need to install this, so you've got to order the correct one. And then down here at E5, we also have the options for our surface vertical rod. Now, there's not that many surface vertical rods on the list, but these are pretty common surface vertical rods you'll find out there. So after you choose which type of bar it is, we get down here to our levers. Now, unlike cylindrical mortise locks, there's not an option for an inside and outside lever. It's kind of obvious why. The lock's only on the outside. On the inside of the door, you're going to have your panic bar. So we only have one lever. So those levers are either long, short, or custom. Long and short's the only way you can do key override. Any of the custom levers don't have key override. But as I said in my other videos, long is what you're going to see out there probably 99% of the time or more. It's just the most common, return to the door lever, meets fire code, all that. So choose your lever there, L or S. Then we move on to the next box for key override. You've got K and B. K is your standard key and lever, ships with a Schlage C keyway and 2 keys. The other one is your best small format, however you want to say it. We call it best prep. It's got that figure 8 cutout. The core is not included, but you can put whatever small format core you want in there. Those are also the easiest to change out if you ever need to. Key and lever, you got to take the lever off, take the core out. With a small format, just take your control key, pop that core out, pop a new one in, you're on and moving. So easiest way to do it. Then we choose our handing. It's going to be dual-handed. I don't think any of these even have a handing needed on it because the way the levers are, the way the lock is, I don't think anything on here is actually a handed option. So you're going to be choosing F for dual-handed. And we're going to get down to the last parts of this. So door monitoring. Do I want to be able to monitor if that door is open or closed? And remote release, do I want to be able to remotely unlock that door, like a wire running back to a receptionist's desk where they can push a button to unlock the door, something like that. So choose your options. You've got none. You've got it prepped for remote release. That would be a pair of wires that you would wire that remote release into. Door sensor would be the same thing, a pair of wires hanging out for you to wire a door contact into so you can tell if the door's open or closed. Or maybe you've got something in your panic bar that monitors the door status and has an output that you can connect to those 2 wires. And if you want remote release and door sensing, well, you got the option to have both of them there. Your special options here, you can choose none, or none is 0, or A for key to like. Typical thing you see is these are shipped just with the core included and the 2 keys, and they're all keyed differently. But you can choose key to like if you want. If you want everything in your property using the same key, you do have that option. There's an extra cost, and we also must know the end user's address and name so that if you ever need to add locks to it later, you can easily order more for that and they'd be keyed the same way. Then you've got your finish options. And if you watched my other videos, you hear my opinion on finish. Satin chrome is the most common. It's what we see most places. It wears the best. It's the lowest cost. It's the longest lasting. It's just the most common. You also have options like ultra satin chrome. Ultra finish is an extra finish put on top of the lock, like a clear coat to help it last longer. Especially useful in areas like salt water or chlorine areas where that may try to eat away at the metal in the lock. So we have an extra coating on there. You still need to do your regular maintenance to keep the lock clean, maybe a turtle coat wax or something on it just to help it last longer and resist better. But you also get a conformal coating on the electronics inside the lock. So it'll help the electronics last longer also and not get eaten up by that salt water in the air. Then you have your other finishes. You got bright and satin brass. I hate brass, my personal opinion. It's kind of an antiquated color, but hey, if you want it, we got it. Then you've got your oil rub bronze and dark bronze. Let me caution you on these. Bronze is not the same everywhere. Everybody has their own version of it. They're mostly simulated. Some are actually a true oil rub. They may not exactly match, so if you need sights to perfectly match, check it first and make sure if it matches or not. Then you've got your nickels, bright nickel, satin nickel. To me, nickel is kind of a purplish hue of a satin chrome, so it's close but a little bit off. But we've got those options. You've got bright chrome if you want the bling, it's there. So choose your finish, and then that's your part number. Thank you.